All right, let's get this started. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's be real about. I'm about to restart this.
I mean, let's be real about backtracking and that.
Might as well backtrack. Might as well rewind.
Right, thank you. Come on, DJ. You got to scratch it one time. Back to the
Welcome to the Let's Be Real podcast, where we are regarded to as the Starting Five. We are powered by the Binge Podcast Network, and we are sponsored by Overtime Heroics Memphis. About backtracking.
Exactly. There you go. There you go.
Let's not see we rocking new shirts, man. Let's be real.
Y'all look good in y'all shirts. Y'all look good. Black ninja shirts.
I like all caps on black.
I like
it. You gotta put all. Exactly.
Sorry, how can somebody get a shirt?
We'll get with you after the episode. Still working through some kinks on selling merchandise, but I have it up sometime this week.
You can cash out me $50. You can take this shirt right off me.
I got a baby on the way. I gotta make some money.
I will make an announcement sometime when I get it up this week. Either through Facebook, where it'll be on social media platforms. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook group. So it'll be put up sometime this week. So stay tuned. But start to kick off the episode first. Things happening in Atlanta this weekend, which Sheedy was it. So we will start it off with that before we get to our topics. Sheedy?
Yeah, so I think one thing that we discussed before is to not stop talking about the police brutality and what's occurring. And so I did have the privilege of being in Atlanta this past weekend where a young man, Rashard Brooks is his name, got gunned down. If you look through the story, the videos, the content, the man literally got the taser gun from the cop, right? And was trying to use the taser, but then he got shot 3 times while running away. So my questions to the cops are, his car is right there. You think he ain't coming back to get his car? You don't think you can find where he's at through his license and registration, right? That's a problem. That's not the biggest problem, but the biggest problem is definitely that he got gunned down. But it raises a question to me that said, to me, it was that cop might have been afraid of Rashard using that taser. Well, damn, don't you think we afraid of you too when you use the taser? So maybe you shouldn't use that too.
Do they use tasers?
Oh, well, no, not on black people.
Right.
Exactly. On us. And so that was Friday night, and I didn't quite know what was going on Friday night in regards to that situation. But Saturday night, all the reports that you're saying about Atlanta is really true. They literally shut down a section of a freeway. By the way, the freeway is 6 lanes, shut down completely. And I was telling the guys before we started, of the amount of cops I saw, there were 11 cops. I saw 4 on my way in, okay? I saw another 3 while going to the liquor store. And I literally only saw 1 cop from 4 p.m. on Saturday night to the time I left out this morning. I saw 1 cop in the entire city of Atlanta. And I'm like, are the cops afraid? Because I was in a place where like there are a huge concentrations of African Americans, and so I didn't see cops there. They were at the, where they were protesting. But when you guys get a chance to see Atlanta is hurting in regards to its buildings, CNN building, College Football Hall of Fame building, like those have been shattered. They're down. They're not down, but you can't get in them. They're boarded up. It looks good from afar, but when you get right on it, it's terrible. So I think our rally cry for Black Lives Matter is truly going to come from, I believe, the epicenter where Blacks congregate the most, which is Atlanta. And I really see this being more than just a protest. I mean, the police chief has resigned. The cop has been fired, and there's another one that's been suspended until Wednesday, so they have a full ruling. There's nothing that you need to tell me. They don't need to be fired, just fired. You took someone's life. So I don't understand why there even is, there should be charges. There shouldn't even be more of a cause of, oh, you just lost your job. No, you should be actually going to jail. Because the young man didn't really do anything. Mm-hmm. He didn't. But I was in Atlanta. I threw some ones as well.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Did you wear a mask?
Yeah.
If I can add a quick little nugget to that, I was on a conference call, and I won't say where I was, for what reason I was on the conference call, but the question was asked, and this was after the news and the video came out about George Floyd, and the question was, do you believe after this, what happened to him is a movement, or is it a moment? And I honestly clicked that it's a moment, because I feel like what happened to George Floyd, what happened to Breonna Taylor, and I really hope that they continue to put pressure on that, because what happened to her, those people have yet to go to jail, they've yet to be convicted. So again, I wanted to continue to scream her name too, but now with this one, like, I just feel like it will continue to happen. I feel like I'm not sure exactly what point we'll get to the point where it's going to be a movement, but I just continue to think that it's a moment, because white people, for some whatever reason, feel like it's okay, it's proper to shoot Black people, whether we're armed, and most of the time we're unarmed. I don't understand why they're so scared of us. I'm not sure exactly of why they're so just like, I'm not sure why it's so easy to pull a gun out on a guy that's running away from you, and all he was doing when you pulled up on him was just sitting in his car. Sleep. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's the thing that bothers me, and it's so sad for me to say this, but I'm at the point where I don't even like going anywhere because I'm scared to go anywhere. Everybody's house that I go to is within the 10-minute radius. And I set that up for a reason. I'm too scared to drive. I'm too scared to go anywhere because, like Sheedy said a couple weeks ago, like, I gotta go home back to family. Yeah. And a lot of times I don't leave the houses because I'm not sure if I'm gonna make it back home. So I want us to continue, and I'm glad that we're continuing to talk about Black Lives Matter. I'm glad for the shirts, and the shirts are not just for promo, but we want everybody to see, like, Black Lives Matter. At the end of the day, there's no more all lives matter. There's no more cops matter. Like, no, like, Black men and Black women are getting shot down for almost nothing these days now, and it's scary.
I think the scariest thing for me, I don't know too much about like the full details, but I did take some time to watch the videos of his name is Rashard. Yeah, so I watched the video of him talking to the cop, and I was like, if you read the news report, it was like, man sleep drunk in his car at a Wendy's parking lot, shot dead by cops. Like, what? They don't even make that story does not make sense. Like, going from the beginning to the end. But even seeing parts of the middle where he was talking to the cop, I mean, true enough, he was probably drunk, whatever. But his conversation was calm. There was nothing threatening about him. In my point of view, the cop seemed like he was looking for something to jump on that guy, in my opinion. The only, I guess, questionable thing that the guy did was, quote unquote, resist arrest or whatever they call it. I don't know. Right. But my thing is, you telling me that 2 cops trained in police academy could not take down one man? Like that to me just says either y'all don't need to be cops, y'all weren't trained to apprehend a person that's trying to handcuff, or whatever. But the guy ran off with a taser. Like, if anything, you didn't need to shoot him. He doesn't have a weapon. He doesn't have I mean, he has a taser, but that's not a gun. You know what I'm saying? Like if you can't hawk this man down, why are you a cop? You know what I'm saying? That's like the equivalent. Like I've seen videos of like fat cops chasing like a random. I'm like, you don't need to be a cop. You're not fit to be a cop, dude. Like you have to be in shape to be a cop. Don't be quick to just grab your gun. You are trained in some level of martial arts, I'm assuming. You gotta know how to fight to be a cop, you know. So why is it always for black people, black men and black women, that the first instinct for a cop is to pull a gun and then shoot? Not once, not twice, but 3 times. You shot to kill that man. Like you can shoot to stop him, shoot him in the leg, shoot him in a non-vital area. But you shot to kill this man 3 times. That's just unacceptable. I'm sick of it. Like Skylar, it is terrifying to leave the house. I got pulled over a couple of months ago for some stupid reason. But why do I need 2 cops on my on my left side and on my right side? I'm like, let me just get to work, man. I ain't trying to cause no trouble. Give me the ticket and let me go. You know what I'm saying? So, but even then, that's a traumatizing experience. Like just being pulled over by a cop because you don't know what's going to happen, what they assume. Like matter of fact, Skylar, I remember when we were in college, we got pulled over. It was me, you, I don't know if it was Matt or somebody else, pulled us over there by the Buffalo Wild Wings because the car was like, you know, a car that was in some kind of, you know, suspect or whatever. We were scared as hell because we don't know what's gonna happen. 3 black dudes, 1 car on Saturday night that looks like trouble. So I don't know, man. I'm just so tired of this mess. And like I sure say, like let's be real, Black Lives Matter. I need police to act like it, period.
And piggyback on your point, Savage, I saw like, of course, again, black people were all arguing with each other about the intent and all this stuff on Facebook. Once again, but I did see someone comment, like a real lengthy comment, and I remember she said, basically like the cop, his car, he told them like to tow his car, right? So even if he's running away. Go ahead, let him get away. You get the tags on his car. Exactly. If you want to arrest him, well, you know, get the tags from the car and put out a warrant for his arrest. Like
exactly.
So like you said, they had intent to kill. Like you could shoot a gun up in the air to scare somebody. You could shoot it away from. You could shoot it like pointed where he at, but shoot it like in a different direction away.
And they're supposed to be trained to shoot.
Exactly.
You're supposed to be trained to be able to hit. If you're gonna shoot at somebody, hit them in the leg, foot. They should be trained to be able to hit somebody to where it maybe disables them or whatever, but to where like they're not running, but to shoot that many times where it's.
You wanted to do it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Excuse to do it.
So before we move on, I do like to say that I definitely feel y'all sentiments and I salute y'all for sharing it on definitely this platform. Skylar, I like to say that you said that this was a moment, and I kind of agree with you, but I feel like it's moving, for lack of better words, it's moving towards a movement simply because of the help outside of the Black race that we're getting. You know, 2020, it's clearing a lot of people's visions and a lot of people's are showing their true colors, which is what's needed right now. And I feel like it's only going to get worse, really, with the start of this reason right here. Like a white cop, after everything that's going on with George Floyd, a white cop shoots a black man in Black Hollywood, man. That's the blackest city in America. So it's coming to a movement for that point. And for number 2, we can even look at it here in Memphis, man. That was restaurants, Flight Restaurant, as a matter of fact. It was a couple of protesters, not a couple, a few protesters last night that were out there, really specifically white people that were protesting because the story is that they've been going on with a system of oppression and racism for the longest. They used to put the black people upstairs and not having them to the window. So when white people are walking around, they ain't see no black people there. So they'll be more inclined to go inside while the black people upstairs. And for 2, they can calm down and, you know, they want to, you know, be able to run away with their checks. So now the white people are getting upset too, because 1, they're fighting for us, but for 2, a lot of the people that used to work there are like, hold on, this not right. You know, we're fighting for our jobs, we're waitresses and stuff, and the owners and the management are still treating us like crap too. So I feel like a lot of white people are finally starting to wake up and be like, this ain't right. So of course it's a moment, but I feel like with everything that's going on, especially with this shooting right here, it's moving towards a movement, bro, for sure.
Man, I hope so too. I hope so.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah. You go, Trevor.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, yeah, I really hope so too, and just want to bring this to the light as well because it's not getting that much media coverage. Excuse me. In addition to everything going on with police brutality, like Black people are still being lynched. In this, so we've had four incidents with two of them in California where Black bodies have been found in front of City Hall, hanging from trees, dead. I think it was one guy in Palmsdale, which they declared a suicide due to COVID, which we all know was BS because he was, prior to him being lynched, he was at a protest. So I just really hope that it does lead to a movement because it's 2020. Folks are still being lynched for no reason. So hey, it is what it is.
Yeah. Well, I think this is going to become a movement, all because who's still in office as president. I don't like this stuff can go on until he's out of office.
And it's a real chance that he'll get reelected is a thing that a lot of people don't seem to realize, you know.
I honestly don't think if he's out of office, it's going to change. Like, if you really want the change that you're seeking, like, it's going to start in your own hometowns. Like, yeah, we know that the highest ranking official is the president and he is the commander in chief, but we need to start paying more attention to who we elect the city council, who we elect as mayor, who our state representatives are. That's where those are the ones who are going to be in your best interest as opposed to the president. So just a quick FYI there.
Yep.
Besides the one that'll put you on curfew to stop protesting. Strickland.
Shade.
Hey.
But before we move on, I'm a Titans fan, and our starting quarterback Ryan Tannehill made like a real lengthy post about Black Lives Matter. He had a conference call or like a media session last week with Titans personnel, and he was speaking about the whole movement and everything. He's speaking about how he learned about it while he was with the Dolphins with Kenny Stills and trying to learn, why that's going on with Black people and stuff. But after his long post, I like to say what he ended it with. He said, all lives do matter, but all lives will not matter until Black lives matter.
Straight up. Mic drop.
That's y'all quarterback.
My quarterback.
I rock with it. I rock with him. I rock with him.
It's a quarterback. Shout out to Tannehill.
Right, shout out to him.
All right, man. So get to start with these topics. HBCUs, Black athletes going to HBCUs. Savage, take it away.
Yeah, so 2023 college prospect Mikey Williams, I think his last name Williams. He made a tweet a while ago that said, going to an HBCU might not be so bad. And he kind of expanded on that, and I just read a direct quote. He said there's a good chance of him, going to the HBCU. It just depends on how my future plays out. Only God knows what the future holds for me, and as of right now, I don't. I've always looked into going to an HBCU. My mom went to Hampton. She put it in my head early. With my social media following and influence, I feel that I have a chance to change sports forever. A lot of athletes are so starstruck by big-name schools and coaches that they forget they control their own narrative. If there's anybody that is getting paid from me being at their school, I want to be my own people. It's all about timing and situation. I support the Black community to the fullest in any way possible I can help. I'm going to do so no matter what it is. First, I definitely want to say shout out to Mikey Williams. I'm assuming he's a sophomore or a freshman or something in high school, but to have that sort of like that public speaking and just to have that wherewithal to explain himself in that way, that lets me know he's a mature, dude. He was raised well by his mom. To have that understanding of who he is as a Black man, as a Black young man, is amazing to hear for me personally. This HBCU D1 athletes movement started primarily because of, the George Floyd situation where a lot of the college D1 coaches are not saying much about the Black Lives Matter movement. And so a lot of people are saying, hey, forget, going to like Duke and Carolina and Alabama, maybe go to Tennessee State, Texas Southern, NC A&T, where you still will get exposure because you are who you are, and you also have an opportunity to still go to the pros. So with all that being said, I just kind of wanted to hear from you guys, like, what do you guys think of Mikey's comments? And do you think that you will see a pipeline of some of these premier athletes going to HBCUs to play college basketball, football, whatever?
I'm for it. I think that's honestly probably one of the best things that I saw all week. To see a player that's nationally ranked, and not only is he nationally ranked, but he's top 5 in his high school basketball class. To see someone say something such as that, and he actually means it when he says, "I'm putting these HBCUs on my list, and they're not just there for show." I think that says a lot, and I really think I think in order for us to get to what Sharky said, in order for us to get to the point where it's a movement, I think Black people, we have to just stop giving white people some of our money, and we just keep that shit in circle. I honestly think that's how it's gonna happen. I think that's why I'm such a supporter for supporting Black businesses. I really try my best to do that, and I think in a sense this is what he's doing to the next level. So you imagine what if Zion Williamson would have went to like Tennessee State or Texas Southern or Grambling or something like that. So imagine somebody to that magnitude going to a HBCU. I think that would really send shockwaves across the country. And I really think that, like, if presidents who are white of some of these big major universities don't see that Black Lives Matter, they will definitely see it at that point when you start to see the likeness of top 5 players going to HBCU and they're no longer coming to your school, putting money back into your school. I'm all for it. It's the best thing I saw all week.
Okay.
My opinion about it is, well, for one, there are several HBCU athletes in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and even some in the Basketball Hall of Fame. But I was more curious to know, like, who's playing right now, primarily for like basketball and football. So I literally looked through every NBA roster and I only found 2 athletes who went to HBCU. Can y'all guess who it is?
No, I couldn't even.
Bob Covington's one, and
Kyler
Quinn is the second.
That's it. Yep. So it's Robert Covington from TSU and Kyler Quinn from Norfolk State. To me, that was kind of eye-opening. I'm like, man, I know for a fact it's some cold dudes at HBCU who's balling. Like some dude who probably didn't do too well in high school, they couldn't go to the premier program, they got in trouble or whatever else they had to go to at HBCU. But there's only 2 HBCU athletes in the NBA right now as far as playing at the highest level. So that kind of shocked me. In football, it's a bit different because HBCU is not a D1, program, but still you get a lot of athletes that went to HBCUs going to the NFL. So I know last year, I put my list up, last year, 4 players from HBCUs got drafted. Titus Howard from Alabama State, Daryl Johnson from NC Quentin Bell from Prairie View, and Joshua Miles from Morgan State. This year, only 1 got drafted. I think it's Latavius Simmons. And he currently remains unsigned, but I think a big chunk of as to why there wasn't more players drafted this year was because the HBCU Combine got canceled because of coronavirus situation. But I think for basketball primarily, I think there's a high chance that this could be a real thing just because you're still going to play D1. Like, you're going to be playing in the tournament. I've seen NCAA make the tournament. Prairie View has made the tournament. TSU has made a tournament. So you're still going to play top talent. It's just you won't be playing in like a Power 5, division or conference or whatever. So do I think Mikey is going to do it? I hope so. I'm going to say that I hope so.
And
I think it's like, man, if you can ball, you can ball. You know what I'm saying?
Straight up.
Like, Scott, you took the words right out of my mouth. Like, what if Zion Williamson would have went to like a Howard or a Morehouse or a TSU or something like that? I think in the incoming future, when the athletes are starting to get paid anyway, and they look and see that they're going into a HBCU, I think that'll be a major plus. But I think at this point, a lot of the HBCUs alumni will have to start giving back as well to make sure that these athletes have the best equipment, the best facilities, the best doctors and everything. Because if not, then is pretty much a waste at this point. Especially trying to compete with a Duke or Alabama in football. You know what I'm saying? But this will be a perfect time for HBCUs to make that push again, athletes too, and that's just a lot of money and a lot of resources to be made because in future NBA, future NFL players are being treated by their facilities, which in turn Black doctors are being able to go out into the world. So it'll be a blessing, really. And I think this would be the perfect time to make that case. All it takes is one. That's all it takes is one. And I hope Mikey Williams be the one.
I don't think it's going to take one. I think it's going to take more than one.
I mean, in the aspect of, okay, he did it, so I can do it. You know what I'm saying? Like
domino
we had
effect of
the domino effect.
Okay, the domino effect, but even with Mikey, it's going to take more than just him.
Oh, for sure.
It needs to be in his class. It needs to be at least 4 or 5 of these top players. If they're not going to the G League. They need to try to go to.
What I was telling Sharky the other day, actually yesterday, I said I would love for like 3 or 4 of them to just pick one school and like, hey, we all going here.
Yeah, exactly.
We all finna go ham.
That'd be dope.
Exactly.
Then they're gonna mess around, put them as a 16 seed in the tournament, and they're gonna upset the number 1 seed.
If UMBC can beat Virginia, I know TSU beat somebody's true.
Talk about a head turner.
Right.
Definitely be some rotel.
And you know what's funny about that though is that I know for a fact, regardless of where Black people went to school, Memphis, UT Martin, Central State, whatever. Like let's say TSU gets like Mikey Williams and a couple other guys. You know what I'm saying? The Black community is going to take that team and everybody going, hey, we all ride with TSU. Yep. Similarly with like the Little League World Series, the moment I see a Black team, look. I'm going with them. Yep. When I see a Black team, a Black swimmer, I'm going with him. Like there's like that's like a Black Twitter tweet. It's like I'm supporting anybody who Black. Let's go. Let's ride. Let it ride.
But another thing with basketball, I think why it's not a lot of HBCU players in the league right now, overseas, because a lot of players in the draft will be drafted from overseas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's a trend. Everybody's trying to find that next great guy from overseas. Like now, everybody's trying to find the next Giannis. So yeah, you can see.
As far as football go, this could be a nice platform to hopefully get more coaches into the NFL as well.
Yeah. And Roger Goodell is at least acting like they're trying to we'll see
acting.
How real it is. Greg Popovich got on his hand today.
That's a problem. Greg Popovich.
Yeah.
And Greg Popovich using your white privilege, by the way.
Right.
Salute to him.
I think I'm the only person who talk about this already. I'm the only person that actually attended an HBCU here, but I also did attend a PWI. And to your point too, for this to really happen, we're going to need everybody, all hands on deck in terms of the Black community. I think personally I think of like my facilities at Central State as compared to Ohio University. If I'm just looking just on facilities wise, I'm going to take Ohio University because Ohio University had everything that I needed for whatever sport it may be, as opposed to if I go to this HBCU, I feel it, but it's not there, right? The quality is not there. The experience, hands down, at HBCU is much better than PWA. No offense to all you right now.
I agree.
I agree too. Yeah.
Yeah. So like point in case, at an HBCU, I don't travel to go to a PWI. PWIs will travel to come to HBCU.
We will go to Lemoyne to go eat.
Yeah.
And so like Mike Will made it, by the way. Mike will really be
good reference.
What we need, right? And I think along with like it can't just be him, it has to be a movement, but we also, to your point too, those of us have given back to our alma maters need to give even more, because in order for them to be home, they need to have a place that feels like home. The courts need to be redone. I can go on and on about Central State's courts. I don't really care what y'all got to say. But they are terrible. Lemoyne College, I've been there. Terrible. I get on that court and travel. Who dared? So all I'm saying is we just need to get back and get our facilities together. But Mike Will made it. Mike Will's going to do it. And if it's not just him, there's a whole group of them, man. And we, as a Black community, as you all said, we got to just support them in any way, shape, or form. Hell, if you even go to that school, give some money to that school so they can make sure the facilities are ready to go. And also as fans, don't be like, oh, because it's $5 more now, I'm not going to the game to support. No, that's the problem.
Yep.
That's the problem.
Pay a discount.
It can't be no discount. Malcolm X told y'all, ain't no discounts, ain't no handouts. Go there and take that. It's 15, pay the 15, man, and be there. But that also means, I'm gonna say this last part, that means a great game if Mike Will and the rest of them go, right? But it's just as good as a show for band as well. Which the HBCU experience. So that's a long game, and I'm there for it.
Thanks.
My Rotel.
Cheese dip, as he calls
Cheese.
You know, it is a such thing as cheese dip, right? Just throwing it out there.
Yeah, it's Rotel.
I know. We had to argue. All right, man. So next topic up, Trevor, NBA players issues with the return led by none other than Kyrie Irving.
Yeah, so if you guys have noticed, this is the reason why I'm wearing this Brooklyn Nets hat. It's for the aforementioned Kyrie Irving, but it's not just with Kyrie Irving. Of course, when all the news came out after it was confirmed that there would be an NBA season beginning at the end of July, a lot of players voiced their concern as far as returning to play. Number one, the obvious fact being with the coronavirus. A lot of the younger players, per se, particularly most of them were from the 2017 draft, all who have rookie extensions coming up, expressing concern as far as they needed insurance just in case there's a possible second outbreak, someone gets sick, there's a career-threatening injury. They just want to make sure that they're taken care of. Of course, with Kyrie Irving, he's come out and voiced his displeasure with it. Based on he feels that the NBA is going to take away from everything that's going on right now with the protests of systemic racism and police brutality. So my question to you guys is, which side do you more so are leaning more towards? Is it Kyrie's side as far as not wanting to resume the season and possibly cancel it all? Or you just got to have basketball back at this point, regardless of what may happen? So
I'll take a stab at it because that's honestly something I've been thinking about all day, even when I was at work. And I honestly have to take the second option of basketball. And here's why. When you're in what they're going to call a bubble for a few months, all the cameras going to be on you. Yep. All the cameras going to be like everybody wants sports, period, now. Mm-hmm. So why not use this platform, which is going to be the biggest platform in the world, to express your opinion, If you don't want to play ball, don't play ball. But if you are, cool. If you want to kneel for the national anthem, cool. I'm down for that, period. But use this platform instead of, we're not going to play, or it may put others at risk. Of course, it'll put others at risk, but so is going out at night, what people doing anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, there won't be a crowd of people watching anyway. It's just going to be y'all on the court, the coaches, a couple referees, and the people that's pressing the 2K button. So you're not going to really expose yourself, really. So I like I said, just use this platform to do it, And Pat Bev said it best. If LeBron said he playing, we all playing. So shout out to LeBron James. I give him that.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've been thinking about all that. I see the other side where the healthy and the health is a concern, but y'all got a job to do at the end of the day too. And we really this could be one of the best seasons we still could have in the NBA. But use the platform while you got it.
I was just about to say that was my notion on the whole thing. Like, you have this platform, like all eyes are going to be on you now, especially with you're going to be the only live sports thing on TV outside of UFC. Use this platform wisely to continue to push this conversation forward about systemic racism and police brutality. Like, every player, I'm pretty sure in some shape or form, is going to have some media obligation. Like, just to hell with talking about the game afterwards, to hell with talking about stats. Like, use that media obligation, use that platform to continue to push that conversation on everything that's going on today. Like, I would be all right if LeBron had a decent game, he had a triple-double, and he just said, you know what, to hell with that. Why aren't the officers arrested for killing Breonna Taylor? Like, just it's ways that you can use this media platform. So Just use it wisely.
Particularly with it being the NBA, because
Exactly.
like it's Adam Silver. This is the best commissioner in the game. Like it ain't Roger Goodell. It ain't whoever the MLB commissioner is. This is Adam Silver. Adam Silver is for this. So I like you mentioned something about like this is the best like time to protest or get your words out. Like look no further than the '68 Olympics, bro. Like Tommy Smith and John Carlos, like they did the Olympics, got first and third place, and then lifted the fist. Like, and we talk about that to this day. This almost 50, 60 years later, talking about it now. You know what I'm saying? So this is a great opportunity for LeBron and Kyrie, Flat Earth Kyrie. I think Kyrie has outwoke himself with this particular with this statement.
But yeah, since the kid's gonna make it, like imagine Ja Morant hitting a three with his fist up, and after having his fist up, like that's
shout out to Ja Morant for calling for that Confederate statue in Kentucky to be taken down. Shout out to Ja on that.
Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead, Sean.
Okay.
Supposed to go first.
Words. Y'all took the words right out of my mouth. I listened to Gary Parrish show Thursday or Friday, and he was talking about it. And he made a great point. Literally what y'all just said. He was saying like after every game, doing the interviews, they always, a lot of players lead off with, first I want to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Right? He was like, okay, you do that. Why don't you say, all right, first I want to, bring attention to Black Lives Matter, bring attention to Breonna Taylor, bring attention to the killings, bring attention to the police brutality. Why don't you just start it off with that? Or like Trevor said, just instead of talking about the game, use that whole platform to talk about it. Yeah, I mean, who's gonna stop them?
Right.
Exactly.
And I mean, we all want to watch sports. We all want to watch the game, so they not
black, white, and in between. Everybody want to watch sports, but you still think it is Black Lives Matter though.
Exactly.
Exactly.
I'm not gonna shut them down for them saying it. They're not gonna shut down the season over that. The only way they shut down the season is a lot of players get COVID. Knock on wood. We pray they don't have it. Yeah.
I think it will be a good idea for them to restart the season, because I think one thing that I think we also need to think about is the players too. The players aren't getting paid at this time. I think they haven't received a check since May, I think, and that's like early May. So again, of course, they're much better. They're in much better financial situations than we are. But again, you got to also think about, again, at the same time, those people aren't getting paid either. So I want to talk about that. And then also, I think as much as we want LeBron James, Chris Paul, Carmelo Anthony, those players, and even Kyrie to say something about this in the pregame interview or post-game interview, at the end of the day, the best people that need to come to the light and say something about about everything that's going is the owners. And I think at the best, before football season gets started, because at the end of the day, the basketball season is going to go into the NFL season. And so you're going to lose ratings because of that. But I think as Black people, if we start to see some of these owners get up and say something, get up and like say, okay, like let's talk about like this situation with Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, Sandra Bland. Like if we start to see them say something, then at that point, again, like I said earlier, then we can get to the movement. So I think we can have basketball back, but then, like I said, LeBron James, they can say something, but the owners need to say something as well too.
Thanks for opening it up with what you said in your comments. At the end of the day, it's your job to play basketball. You have one of the greatest jobs, if you ask me. I wish I could get paid millions of dollars to put a ball in the hoop.
Or sit on the bench.
Or I will ride that.
I will take a 10-day for 100,000. I swear I will.
No. Who was the guy who won 3? Who was that?
Oh, the guy who goes
Patrick McCall. I will Patrick McCall the whole bench.
Patrick McCall.
Little bit
3 ways in a row. But like, all of us still go to work, right? We still do our job. And the point of it is, like, what do you do more now outside of just your job? So whether that's having tough conversations with, employees, and I'm talking on a holistic side, not just basketball, the holistic side of, like, do you have that tough conversation with the Blacks that you work with the whites that you work with, to let them know what's really going on? Why is this happening? Why is it not cool for you to talk about my hair as a Black woman in this workplace, but I can't talk about how you got the same ponytail in, right?
Jeez.
For a couple months.
Sarah potato salad.
It had no seasoning.
Raisins.
Right. But like, I'm sorry. But like for but honestly, like it's a perfect way for a platform. We did something very similar, or had the opportunity with. We didn't want to play when Kobe died. We took 24 seconds, 8 seconds, stuff like that. There are other ways. You could sit 8 minutes in however long it takes, or just be dead silent for 8 minutes or what have you, while on the court, because it's just y'all, and make a statement. Because trust me, 40 minutes of basketball is still better than 48. Is better than no basketball at all. So even if you cut 8 minutes, I'm still there for it and still making a stand about it. So all in all, I support as long as we're doing something more than just playing basketball. I'm for it.
Amen.
All right. Would you rather?
All righty, fellas. So we do know we are certain. Well, at least I think we are certain that we'll have basketball on July 30th or the 31st.
31st, baby.
Yeah, not the greatest
30th.
Yeah, it is. You sound like a hater, dog.
Yeah. So part of the agreement to come back is the NBA will allow NBA teams to go up to 17 players on their roster. And so one thing that I started to think about this week is of players that are eligible to come back. So KD and John Wall, which are the two we want to focus on for this particular conversation, is of the players that are eligible to come back, who I'm trying to figure out, make sure that I say it the best way. Who's going to have the greatest impact when they come back? Or who has the most to gain if they were to come back and to finish out the regular season? There's the question. Questions on the floor.
All right, man. Why ass down here?
Man.
You're probably on the John Wall Zoom call or something like that.
All right. So let me go and taking crack at this one. I'm actually gonna say John Wall. Reason why? I don't remember last time he played. I'm dead serious. Like, when was last time he played?
Actually, I don't know the last time he played.
Like
in the summer of 2017, I'm sorry. In December of 2017, Mr. John Wall signed a 4-year, $171 million of them things contract, super max, and he ain't played more than 10 games since then.
There we go. John Wall, because KD got 2 rings. Yeah, he needed to win one in Brooklyn, but I think if Kyrie was healthy, then I would pick KD. And I understand why he's not coming back. If Kyrie was healthy, then I'd be like, all right, go ahead, come back. Both of y'all healthy. Y'all can be the 7 seed, upset some people and make a run. But if Kyrie ain't healthy, you got to come back and carry the team after tearing your Achilles, what happened last year and stuff. I'm straight. Go ahead, wait till next season. John Wall, I didn't even see you, bro. I haven't got this contract. I don't even remember what you looked like before you got hurt, literally. Like that season.
I don't even know
for the Wildcats.
I don't even know his jersey number anymore.
Number two,
Popeyes.
Oh,
Clipback.
good reference. Good man.
So okay. With Kevin Durant, like Sharky said, Kevin Durant off top, he wasn't going to play this year anyway. So you don't really gain anything from playing, and the team as currently constructed is not yet built for KD and Kyrie yet. Like, they just fired the coach, so they have an interim coach. They bring in a new coach next year. So you really don't – you don't gain anything from playing. And if anything, you're getting an extended time to recover with the season starting probably around Christmas for next year. So it's better to sit down somewhere. I wouldn't even go to the bubble. I just chill at home and be on my burner account or something. I don't know. With John Wall, I don't think he got nothing to gain either, because this is Bradley Beal's team now. Like, Bradley Beal, I just showed last week's stats of Bradley Beal killing. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, this is Bradley Beal's team. And if I'm Washington, I'm like, look, how quick can I get John Wall to Miami or something? I don't know.
I stand with Gordon Dragic.
Nobody's taking on that deal.
But nobody expected Washington to be anything this year. They're the 9th seed in the East, which is not saying a lot, but it's like they gave Bradley Beal like Mo Wagner and Isaac Bonga and other random players, and he got them fighting for the 8th seed. You know what I'm saying? This Bradley Beal team, I mean, Bradley Bill even said, I feel like I'm missing Pippen right now with John Wall not playing. So I don't think neither one of them gain anything. I think just John Wall is he's
You got two.
no matter right now.
Yeah, you got choose
You
one.
got two though. It's one.
Yeah, choose.
I got choose
Who
one.
has to come back?
Okay, I'm gonna choose one. I'm gonna choose.
Say it.
Don't say it.
Say it.
I guess John Wall. I guess. Yeah, John Wall. Yeah. Next, y'all go ahead.
I'll take a stab at it, and I'm gonna actually go with Kevin Durant. And in no way am I comparing Michael Jordan to Kevin Durant, but if Michael Jordan was healthy and you know what I'm saying, able to play, we wouldn't be saying no, Jordan don't play. Jordan don't play. We'd be like, okay, Jordan can play. Let's go. I feel like the same thing can be said about Kevin Durant. Like I said, I'm not comparing them, but to me, Kevin Durant's the best player in the game. If he's able to play, why not play? Why not continue to use that platform that we talked about earlier in the show and let your voice be heard? Like I said, y'all may disagree, and I'm cool with that. I'm cool. I'm definitely cool with that. But to me, KD is the best player in the game, and why not give people like me something to look forward to for next season, especially if you can make it to at least the second round in the playoffs. That's just me.
I see you.
Huh?
You a Nets fan? Is that what you said?
No.
He's a Durant.
I said Durant, bro.
Oh, so you said the Brooklyn Nets. Okay, I got you.
You say Brooklyn.
Hey, I'm a low-key Nets fan. I like Brooklyn.
My man got a hat on. You still can't read it?
I mean, the two point, I get where he's coming from with Kevin Durant about, you know, the game possibly missing him because he's one of the top players in the game. We kind of mentioned that before when we were talking about the All-Star game. Like, yeah, like this was a good All-Star game, but it was missing some key players. It was missing KD, it was missing Steph and things of that nature. But the obvious answer here is Mr. 110% guy himself, because I'm with the rest of y'all. I can't even remember the last time he played. Like the last footage I've actually seen of him on the court, he was getting 53 put on him by IT. So
tell
the
MVP rating. Wow.
Hey,
yeah.
Trevor, tell Anthony, because swear, he was with him when John Wall hit the game-winning shot in Game 6.
He played terrible.
Like Game 7, it happened when he scored 0 4 quarters.
He didn't show up. Like,
he had to win Game 6 to go to Game 7. So he had to.
That's true.
He doing Game 7 then.
That's an excuse. I mean, no disrespect to IT, we respect him, but if John Wall is supposed to be one of the top two-way players at his position, you can't have 53 put on you in the Eastern Conference semis. So hey, that's just me. But
yeah, first
if I had to choose one, definitely John Wall. Who has the most to prove.
Yeah, first of all, we're gonna rewind you a little bit, Trevor. What you say about Isaiah Thomas? That he's no slouch or something like that? What'd you say?
He's no slouch.
He is no slouch.
He's a slouch if he ain't on no NBA team right now. He's a slouch. He was not back then. Okay, I got you.
So hold on. So Jamal Crawford a slouch?
He done went from the Celtics,
Jamal Crawford a slouch,
to Magic, the Wizards, he everywhere. Anyways.
And he still
an unsigned hype.
He still played more than John Wall in the last couple.
True.
He played more games with the Wizards than John Wall.
And he's been hurt himself.
Yeah. Off the bench. And so the would you rather for this one, I'm going to take Kevin Durant.
What?
My reason to take Kevin Durant is historically the Nets actually are better without Kyrie. And let Durant, I'm not telling you to give Durant 40, 45. That's not what I'm saying. But just give it a chance, fill it out. I said this last week and I'll say it again. I don't care if John Wall came back to that team. I don't care if they signed Nene back for some reason. The Wizards are not better than the Magic. Stop it. Beal is better than some of the Magic players, yes.
He's the best player.
He's the best player. Right. The Magic are a better team. So I'd rather see the Magic than the Wizards. So with that being said, the Nets are definitely in. I think to have a better or greater impact would be KD on the Nets, because the Nets could actually have a chance to go to the second round. Whereas if you put John Wall on that team, I still don't think that team wins 2 games of their first series. But whoever they play.
The phrase is the way Scouter phrased it.
Who has the greatest
the
impact?
question, who benefits the most by coming back? KD going to second round, then it'll benefit for him at all.
Well, John Wall coming back to anything. Ain't
Yeah, it is. If you don't make it past the first, or wouldn't make it past the first.
Yeah, ask Carmelo Anthony.
All right. I literally have teeter-totted back and forth, whether it be John Wall, whether it be Kevin Durant, whether it be Kevin Durant, whether it be John Wall. And I'm going to say that it's Kevin Durant. Because at the end of the day, does any of us care about John Wall?
No.
Exactly.
Hell no.
The last time we saw KD, there was a question. That was a legit question asked, whether you're pro LeBron or pro Kevin Durant, is who's the better player? That was a legit question about that because he was putting up buckets before he got hurt on the Warriors. So I believe it would behoove Kevin Durant.
Come on, Word. Come on, Word of the day.
To come back and to at least see where he could take the Brooklyn Nets. Because let's just say, hypothetically speaking, he comes back and him and Kyrie and whoever else is on the Brooklyn Nets.
Kyrie.
Well, even better. Spencer. Even better. Let's just say, hypothetically speaking, Gerald Levert. He did. Okay, let's just say hypothetically, Kevin Durant comes back. That says a lot. He comes back and takes them to the Eastern Conference Finals. That says a lot about his legacy in a time where let's just say the Lakers come back and win the championship. I mean that definitely helps KD's legacy going into next year. So I think that's why, because at the end of the day, none of us care about John Wall. I don't even think anybody on the Wizards care about John Wall. So that's what it is. I think that's why.
Hey, what's that word of the day?
Behoove.
Spell behoove.
That's a certain way.
Spell behoove.
That's a strong buck.
Spell behoove, Skylar.
Next question.
Yeah.
Next topic.
Barbecue. My fault.
All right, man, that was good. All right, the fact that there was even actually a real question lets you know, like, John Wall name just got to get mentioned on this podcast, huh? Oh, well. Top 3.
John Wall owes money. Shoot.
Yeah, you know what?
Because we running promo for him.
Right.
Yes.
All right, add him to the list. Popeyes, John Wall is now on the list.
And so the next segment is a segment that, you know, we had a privilege of going back and forth, myself and Savage, of the top 3 moments that we thought were crucial in this last decade. So starting from 2010 to now, what are 3 kind of pivotal things that happened? It could be signings, it could be, you know, a multitude of different things that him and I kind of go back and forth about.
This is in sports.
In NBA.
Oh, in NBA.
Just in
Okay,
the NBA.
Okay.
Just in the NBA. Just in the NBA. So just let us do this main event. And let Savage go. You like that? That was cute.
Hey, hold on. The reason we gave this segment up, happy belated. Well, we told y'all happy birthday on your birthdays, but happy belated birthday to both of y'all. So this
Back to
segment,
back.
Yeah.
And he was born first. Well, his birthday is first.
yeah.
June 8th to June 9th, yeah.
I'll let you go.
Shout out to the Geminis.
Solid.
Yeah. So I'm going first? Cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So I didn't realize how long a decade was. I mean, I know it's 10 years, but it's like, dang, a lot has happened in 10 years, you know? So to pick 3 things, it was kind of hard because at the beginning of like the 2010s, you see some things happening. But it's like once you get to the middle and the late 2010s, I guess, you're like, dang, that stuff does kind of really matter in the whole grand scheme of things. So my first moment, moments, I should say, is part of the same game. But the sequence of the LeBron James block and the Kyrie Irving dagger, like, I think, like, that moment is forever etched in history, like, period, you know? It has its own Wikipedia page, if y'all didn't know. That's how real that moment was. But as you guys know, LeBron James hawked down Iguodala, smacked off the backboard, traditional LeBron James block. He's been doing that his whole career, you know. And then on the other end, you get Kyrie dancing on Steph Curry, pull a cold-blooded 3 in his face, and that was pretty much game. In that same game, though, Draymond Green was lucky that he didn't get dunked on. He was lucky he didn't get dunked on. Because that moment, I was like, oh, that could have been like LeBron James solidified his his logo or whatever it was gonna be. But the block and the dagger, like that moment together meshed in that game, that was probably the top finals moment for me. In terms of just the decade. My second moment was Kobe Bryant's last game. Of course, it was a huge deal at the time, but people might not have thought it was a moment. But, with Kobe Bryant, untimely death back in January, it makes that moment that much more magical because not only did it put up 60 points, but people forget they were trailing in that game. You know what I'm saying? It still was he had to play ball and make his shots. But that whole game was just magical. If you go back and watch that fourth quarter, everybody in the crowd going crazy, Snoop Dogg acting stupid, Jack on the sideline acting stupid. That whole moment was just for that to be his last game and his lasting memory for us in a basketball sense, that's just straight up, Kobe. My last moment, and I'm sure Sheedy will elaborate on this a bit more in a different context, was Kevin Durant joining the Golden State Warriors. That single-handedly changed the landscape of the entire NBA. It made people hate the Warriors. It made Steph Curry into a hateable person. I still like Steph Curry, period. I mess with Steph Curry. But, it made the Warriors entity into a juggernaut that was seemingly unstoppable. The only thing that really stopped the Warriors was injury, to be honest. But that moment, it changed everyone's opinion about the super teams. It was just crazy because, and I'll let Shidi take this moment because I'm sure he'll elaborate on this a bit more. But that to me was even crazier than LeBron going to Miami, because KD joined a freaking 73-win team after losing to them being up 3-1. It was just crazy. So LeBron James, Kyrie sequence, I should say, Kobe's last game, and Kevin Durant signing with the Warriors. Floor is yours, Sheedy.
Yeah, thank you. I got my trusty book, so let me turn around a little bit. Do some reading, right? I agree with what you said, Savage, in regards to this 3-1. That take, and I'm not going to elaborate too further, but what if KD and Russell Westbrook would have got it done in game 5, game 6, game 7? They actually would have went to the finals, and they would have been that Kevin Durant and Oklahoma City Thunder team versus LeBron James and the Cavs team that we've always wanted to see. And so I always think what could happen there, but I erased that. That's not mine because I gave it to Savage. So how can I do this segment without talking about the Heat?
You can't.
But hear me out. Hear me out.
I know you go.
The year was 2016. We had over $200 million invested in the big men with zero offense. That was Chris Bosh with the Bloodcots. Oh. Then we had to sign Hassan Whiteside after that. Chris Bosh took 5 years, 105, some 115. Hassan Whiteside took 4 years and $98 million.
He got tripped over with blocks though.
And turnovers. And so the reason why I brought that moment up was because that was really the last of us paying big men a lot of salary and tying that up. And so as I think about it, I pulled this up as well. Of the top 20 salaries in the NBA last season, only 2 people played the power forward position or higher. By the way, Blake Griffin was number 9. Wow. And number 20 was Paul Millsap.
That's a name right there.
So numbers 1 through 20 either play 1, 2, or 3, and those play the 4 or the 5. And so that to me signified a change in where we were basketball-wise, too,
Okay.
with more of a stretch, right? You like that? I just
Nice.
I was lost.
Nice.
I was like, what
Yeah.
does Hassan Whiteside have to do with Miami? But okay.
Yeah. So here, back to the Heat. Not 2010 when LeBron joined, not the Chris Bosh rebound, not even the Ray Allen shot. All this had to happen for us to even go to a game 7. With 50 seconds left, Tim Duncan misses the
This is the easiest layup. Yes.
and he missed the putback afterwards at 50 seconds.
And Patrick Ewing missed one similar to that.
Yeah, but that was before
Wow,
2010.
Yep.
I
just remember.
Yeah, Jacinda, right? And so like if Tim Duncan hits this is something that we've known Tim Duncan to always do.
Mm-hmm.
If he hits this, right? Do the Heat break up even earlier? Now, does Kawhi really leave a little bit earlier? Does he stay? Do they work out? There's a lot of different things that can work out because they were literally only down 2 points in Game 7. A lot of people think like we just stampeded over the Spurs in Game 7. We didn't. It was a great game. And like I said, Tim Duncan and his legacy, he's one of the greatest power forwards that we've ever seen. And hopefully we never will talk about that moment. I love that moment, by the way. But that was another moment for me because that could have been another ring for Tim Duncan and then would have broke up my Heat. Now.
They got their revenge next year. The next year, though.
Yes, the Spurs did. Yes, Greg Popovich. And so my last one, 2017. I like this year, by the way. We fired the coach of the year. 2018. We fired the coach of the year.
All three of them, man.
Just listen. No, it does. Miami Heat, though, man.
I can't wait till my birthday.
We need to make up for his birthday. We do that.
Yeah, it's true. We'll wait till February.
We'll do makeup.
Yeah, I'm just playing. But like for this one, so just stay with me, okay? 2018, we fired the coach of the year. Y'all remember? Yes, no, niggas like no. We fired the black coach that won coach of the year.
Casey.
Thank you, Dwayne Casey.
Dwayne Casey.
Okay.
Dwayne Casey, who led the Raptors to the highest seed.
You said we.
Sorry, my fault.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, huh?
Yeah, Raptors fans over here.
Oh, yeah. You're right. I actually don't know where they're at. But anyways,
In Toronto.
NBA, yes, they fired him, right? They fired him. Why? Because the Raptors couldn't make it out of the playoffs against LeBron, right? Well, I agree, right?
DeMar DeRozan.
And they couldn't make it past LeBron. We call it LeBronto or something like that.
Yeah.
LeBronto, right? But we didn't fire the white coach that couldn't get past LeBron. His name was Frank Vogel. From 2011 to 2016, he was the Pacers head coach. Never fired him, right? Well, yep.
He didn't get fired.
But no, not after that. Dwayne Casey he's with the Pistons now with Blake Griffin for no reason. And then Frank Vogel went to the Magic.
Yeah, it's loud up.
But he did. But guess what? White privilege gave him that job with Los Angeles. And he's about to battle for a ring. But we didn't fire him back in 2017 for not beating LeBron. And I mean, the Pacers just get waxed every season.
No, they were close to Toronto now.
They were close.
I lost. You're right. I get it. Yeah.
Toronto.
Paul
Toronto
George.
had no choice.
And so, like, and that created like this ordeal of coaching, right? So like coaches come and go, like even in the middle of the season, David Black as well. And so coaching changes, that huge one, the firing the black one, even though the white one was doing the same thing. The big signings from the Heat, and then Tim Duncan, and the missed putback that we all know he will make 9 times out of 10.
Okay.
I can't believe all three of yours were Miami Heat. And that wasn't even the good parts.
Technically, the third one, Miami Heat. Then.
Yeah, it just has LeBron factor, so I guess he wants to show in the Heat. So
Technically, sure.
You know.
Sure. Was this just for them or was this for all of us?
All right, let's go ahead. We got time. Sure.
Go ahead.
Let's get it. You know what? Let me go ahead and go.
Pick one. How about y'all do one each? Y'all do one each. One moment each.
Okay.
Yeah.
You make us feel special, Savage.
Okay, let's go. The Grizzlies making the Western Conference Finals.
What year?
2013.
That was 2013.
Because I remember
Against the Spurs?
Nope, they beat OKC.
Oh.
5 games. Then we got swept by the Spurs in the West Conference Finals, but making it there, the Grizzlies, we never thought they moved here in Memphis. I never dreamed of them making the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah, man.
I just remember driving to work. I was working at FedEx. Driving to work that night, hearing the Indian the game on radio. Hearing Tony Allen locking up KD. Sorry too, but
I mean, hey, I was rolling with Memphis too, bro.
playing the Whoop That Trick song. Well, I was turned at work. Great moment.
All right, so if I had to pick one, I got a 1A, 1B because it's literally like the year after.
Yeah.
Honestly, and I hate I'm even saying this, but one of my favorite sports memories is the 2016 Game 7 that y'all brought up. And it's simply because I remember that day. It was back when I was working at iHeart. It was the same exact day as the Yo Gotti birthday bash. So I'm working backstage. Well, I was working in the front, and we literally seeing people on their phones, artists not even like coming out to perform because it's Game 7. Like I remember we had to wait like a whole hour, probably hour and a half for the concert to even start because everybody was watching Game 7. Like Game 7s in the NBA Finals don't happen too often, especially with 2 good teams like this. So like I said, that's definitely one of my favorite memories. And even though it ended in the way it did, I was still happy to be able to watch it. And then of course, the year later when KD hit the shot over LeBron, of course.
I'll stay home with mine. I'll go to 2011 to when the Grizzlies knocked off the Spurs as the 8th seed. Reason being because at that point, like a lot of people were really asking, were the Spurs really done? Like, has the Tim Duncan era, Greg Popovich era of being this consistent team, winning 50 games, making the playoffs, making a huge run, like that was kind of put on hold, and a lot of people were questioning it to, okay, maybe the Spurs are just old. Like maybe their time has come, and things were looking on the up and up for Memphis. And then of course they over the next few years they showed their dominance by, of course, they traded for on draft day Thanos himself, Kawhi Leonard. And then they was able to go on the run that they went on. So, but for me, it'll definitely have to be that 2011 first rounder between the Grizz and the Spurs.
That was the first time the Grizz won a playoff series, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I remember that. That's a good one.
Before Skyler go back to that point with Trevor, like the Spurs changed their. You know how we get mad coaches, like old school coaches, for not updating to the game how it's played now. The Spurs did that at that time. Like Greg Popovich did like a 3-point shot, and all of a sudden you signed Danny Green, you draft Kawhi Leonard, and developed him to a shooter, and they became they got younger players come out the bench and became like a running gunning team with still center around Tony Parker, Tim Duncan, and Manu Ginobili. Yeah. But he put the ball in Tony Parker's hands and just let him just run the show.
And shout out to Pop too, because from that moment, like you look around the NBA, his coaching tree is immaculate right now. Immaculate.
Ooh,
Coach Bud, Taylor Jenkins. At some point, what's the lady's name? Becky Hammond. She'll get a job at some point. So that's just that's a tribute to Pop, man. Pop is just, man, he up there with Phil, man.
Up there with Phil. Phil need to try to catch up with Pop.
It's debatable. It's really debatable.
No. It definitely is. It definitely is.
So the question was, I guess, both of y'all was top 3 moments in the NBA over the past decade. I'm going to cheat a little bit, and I'm going to go 2009. And I think 2009 was important because that's the year in which Steph Curry was drafted. And I think Steph Curry is going to go into the Hall of Fame, not only because of his shooting, but I think what he did for the game of basketball. I think now we're at the point to where like everybody thinks that they're Steph Curry and everybody thinks that they can just shoot threes from anywhere. But I think when Steph Curry was drafted and he got comfortable and his body, his ankle started to hold up well enough for him, and he became one of the best 3-point shooters that I think that any one of us have seen. And again, it's not only because of his shooting, but what he did for the game as far as spacing is concerned. I mean, you look at a finals game now versus a finals game 15 to 20 years ago, and you have 40 and 50 3-point shots being taken, right? So I think at the end of the day, I think Steph Curry being drafted is probably one of the biggest moments of the decade plus one.
Yeah. That 2009 year, man. First of all, we don't give enough credit to D Wade. He was the first, first team All NBA offense. Well, not offense, but first team All NBA and first team All Defense, and still not even a top 3 in the MVP voting. But that's neither here nor there. I digress.
I gotta say this one more before we move on to trolling now.
Okay.
All right, this was the beginning of the end, essentially, of my as a fan of Chicago Bulls. I know I got Matt Hudson is watching. I graduated college in May, on Mother's Day, in May of 2015. The Bulls are up 2-1 on the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Oh, man.
Kyrie was hobbled. This was the best chance for them to win because Derrick Rose finally was healthy the second half of the season. Him and Jimmy Butler together. Jimmy Butler came into his own at this point. Joakim Noah, he struggled this series. But everybody, those were the healthiest we had been. And LeBron, Kevin Love was out. Because that's when he got shoulder blade.
Dang, so was.
And David Blanch almost blotched out these two. Not calling the play for LeBron James and calling the timeout that they didn't tack on that we would hit free throws one game, but that's neither here or there. But needless to say, LeBron, on my graduation, I'm watching the game on my phone, waiting for them folks to get rid of the commencement and stuff. I'm watching the game on my phone. LeBron hit that damn game 4. Hurt 2-2. My graduation. Hurt.
I don't think y'all won another game.
Nope, 4-2.
No.
2-1 Golden State the same season, and they lost 3 in a row. Cut Mike Conley and Tony Allen.
Well, we welcome you in the Heat jersey.
Yeah.
Right, you ain't been the same. Shark ain't been the same.
Wait, man, happy get Pippen is still.
Literally, it broke up the Bulls. After that, they fired Thibodeau, traded Derrick Rose, then did the 3 alpha thing. That
Yeah,
that didn't work out. But hey, Did you say your 1B?
I mean it was the game 7, then KD over LeBron.
KD over LeBron. Okay,
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Is he ready for troll or nah?
Is you trolling? Is you trolling? Is you trolling? Is you trolling? Yeah, I might be. Yeah, I might be. Yeah, I might be. Yeah, I might be. Yeah, I'm
I got one.
Here we go.
Get your homework. Look at y'all.
All right, so I mean, since it's called Backtrack, I'm gonna backtrack a little bit because my trolling off from a couple months ago was kind of crazy. But anyway, so trolling all, the Brooklyn Nets should do everything they can to get Greg Popovich. The reason I say that is because Popovich have had experience with a ball-dominant point guard, and he's also worked with great players in a post, such as Kevin Durant. But also, this would allow him to use his platform as the white coach that he is, especially if he's winning, to help, with the Black Lives Matter movement. So trolling all, the Nets should do everything they can to get Pop.
I mean, I feel like anybody should do whatever they can to get Pop.
Yeah. But specifically the Nets, especially when you got 2 great players that are kind of starting at the end of their careers, like Kyrie and KD.
I can't see Pop going anywhere, just because he is so ingrained in the San Antonio Spurs organization. I feel like once he retires from coaching, he'll probably run the business or some kind of aspect with the organization. I think he's San Antonio. I think he's San Antonio through and through. But I mean, I don't think it is a troll. I mean, if you can get Pop, go get them. No question.
I think to what Sarah said is right. I think of all the NBA teams, majority of them would want Greg Popovich. I can't see a team that's I'm good on Pop. Like, I can't see nobody doing that. But would I want Pop in Brooklyn? No. But for this sake of the question, I think anybody would want to go get Brooklyn.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want Pop.
That's not a troll at all. I mean, it's not troll at all. I mean, like you said, the Grizzlies should go out to Pop. Yeah, I love San Virginia, but it's great.
Yeah, I'm really trying to wrap my head around a better coach in the NBA right now. and I can't get with it.
There's no.
I mean, you can argue Bud, but I mean, the student is not better than the master. Like, you can't do it.
You won championship first, play.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Exposure. Bud is below.
Hey, Trevor, you got it.
No, it was who?
Oh,
Scott
yeah, I
had
got
one.
No, Scott
I got
got
one.
one.
Oh, my fault.
I got one as well too.
Oh, okay.
Okay, all right, y'all.
Everybody
Don't
can.
I ain't had one in a minute, man. You know,
Go.
mine is football. So if you get basketball, go ahead.
Yeah, no, mine's is football. So I believe there's going to be 4 teams that's going to be fighting for two big spots in the NFC standings. I believe it's going to be 49ers, Seahawks, Saints, and Buccaneers. So for the sake of the segment, trolling all, who misses the playoffs first? Well, which team makes the playoffs over the other? The Seattle Seahawks or
Basically win the division.
Yeah.
Everybody say you first. And who
Basically, whoever wins the division out of these 4.
Who has a better chance of
Because
winning?
they all the same, you know.
I wanted to say who trolling all the Seattle Seahawks misses the playoffs over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. There we go.
Oh, okay, Trevor, you first.
There you go. That's what I want to say.
I'm gonna say Seahawks over the Bucks.
Which one misses the playoffs?
Ah, which one?
Ooh,
Look at Tukes respond. He ready.
that's tough. That's tough, man. I'm actually going to go with the Seahawks. I just think
I
they.
know what's happening.
I will go with the Seahawks. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mess with Russell Wilson. I still don't think they've addressed that offensive line issue. Hopefully they did in this offseason. I think Tampa Bay now at this point has an easy road to win the NFC South. I mean, not going to sleep on the Panthers. They could sneak in there, but I just think
Me love you.
Good luck, Drew Brees.
But I just think at this point now, with everything that's transpired, I think it's going to be a lot of problems in New Orleans, and that's just going to cause Tom Brady and the Bucs just to kind of just ease their way into the division. So if I had to choose one, it would definitely be the Seahawks.
Can I pick New Orleans? Open them two?
Nope.
All right, Seahawks. who is his top? Okay, DK Metcalf. He should have Chris Carson
Lock it.
make a running back.
Lock it.
Offensive, yeah, like I said, offensive line, and they lost Jadeveon Clowney. If Jadeveon,
Who know we going?
there. I ain't got the money to sign him no more now. So, so I don't know who's on defense now. Is Bobby Wagner still there?
By Wagner still there.
He probably by himself, man.
At this point, yeah.
You got twins on the team.
Who else?
UCF twins.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Shaquem
Griffin.
The Griffins.
Yeah.
Okay. I still Seahawks. I just couldn't even last year. They made
They're right
it.
there.
They
They're right
made
there.
it.
They were right there, yeah.
They were, but y'all saw that game against the Eagles. Like,
If we had receivers, we would win that game.
yeah.
If Carson Wentz was healthy, we would win that game.
The Seahawks were one of the teams where they were good, but they always let lower teams that they probably better than stick around.
I told y'all the problem with Seahawks, man.
Yeah.
It's the offensive coordinator. I told y'all.
Right.
They keep running the ball. Like, throw the damn ball.
And it's not going to change because they stick
Nope.
now. So,
Yep.
yeah. The Tom Brady, he going. He ain't no.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say Seahawks too because they offensive coordinator, and Tampa Bay. Oh my God, their offensive weapons is ridiculous. Like you gave Tom toys, bro. Like he had literally no receivers last year. Now you're giving him receivers. Tampa Bay defense is pretty solid. Like and Seattle can't get out of their own way. So I'm gonna keep it short. Seattle. I think San Fran still win the division. I don't believe in the Rams, Cardinals. So yeah.
I will go Seahawks.
You're not going against the grain?
I agree, but
Nah, man. I mean, really, like you just said, Tom Brady got basically a top 5, receiving core, top 5 defense to play with. Like that's Super Bowl run all over it, at least, going there. But with the Seahawks, I won't even take the Russell Wilson thing into consideration. I just don't think that the Seahawks got better over the summer. And, I think they've gotten worse, especially if they lose Clowney. So my choice would be the Seahawks.
Seahawks. What you guys have?
Was it that easy?
It really hard.
He has 2 great receivers. He got his favorite toy still for touchdowns. So yeah, it's easy.
Okay.
Underrated running back. Like he got it all. It's on him on whether or not they win or not.
Yeah. Like I said, the Seahawks, they kind of
Decent coach.
They don't help Russell Wilson.
Russell.
Right. He on the character.
He gonna be in Atlanta for long. Russell Wilson, he can be gone. Happy wife, happy life. Just saying.
Because they want to
Wife happy.
Or New York.
Nah, that's gonna be Atlanta, bro. Matt Ryan.
ATL.
place Danny now.
ATL, yeah.
Come on,
Did not go yet for Troll now. All right.
Come on.
So I'm gonna just get right into it. I'm not gonna build up nothing. This is something that I feel based on what I see, right? So Pittsburgh,
Oh God.
solid defense. No, it ain't mean about Pittsburgh. Solid defense. At some point you gotta get a quarterback, but I feel like y'all are a stable team, period, right? Baltimore, stable team, period.
No.
Long been a Brown supporter. Shout out Baker.
Ooh.
The AFC North is hard. Like, this is hard. So, troll or not, Joe Burrow will never make the playoffs. Never.
Not a troll.
Unless he go to another team, yeah, not a troll.
No.
I mean, in Cincinnati, no, not a troll at all.
It's not a troll because I really, and I've been saying this for months, I really think that Joe Burrow is going to struggle because, like you said, all 3 of those teams have not even just an average defense, like a really good defense. And what if it's nothing about those teams is they eat off like rookie quarterbacks. So they're going to be, I don't want to sound mean, but I really think they're going to like shake his confidence really much this upcoming season. Like they're going to really shake his confidence, and I don't think he'll be able to come back after that. And plus, also, I don't believe in Cincinnati's front office. Never did, never will. No, it's enough for me.
It's 5 wins every year in the division, dog. It's 5. 5 years. We sweep the Browns, we sweep the Bengals, and we split against the Ravens. There you go.
Last year.
So
Didn't the Browns beat y'all last year?
Who was the quarterback? And they barely beat us.
Talk about it, Zach.
Baker.
yeah, and it was the tie the other time, wasn't it?
Thank you. I'm not worried about the Browns. Yet again, I'm saying I am not worried about the Browns.
Okay.
You better be.
Okay, back to Burrow. He not ever, y'all, like ever.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say
He
ever.
has to, for it to happen, he has to leave Cincinnati.
He has to leave Cincinnati. He got to.
So
Because he may go to New England, and there we go, playoffs. There you go. I'll never say never.
let me be different. I'm gonna say it's a troll that he won't ever make it. The reason why Cincinnati's made playoffs before, as bad as y'all talking about them. They made what, playoffs 5 straight years at one point or something like that.
He won because of
well, they made it though. NFL, NFL is one of them leagues where nobody's 54 nights to even be good last year. Or be that is what they were. Not you expect them to be what they were, 13-3.
You forget the year before we was in the studio. I said this. I said I think the 49ers will be second in the NFC, but Jimmy G got hurt. And that stunted their growth. So I did say that. I got my notes in my phone.
I give it to him.
Yeah.
But now they was the only one outside of 49ers. So NFL is one of the leagues where you can have 1 year where a bunch of injuries happen and something is. Yeah, it's stuff happening. But I do understand your point because David Carr, it happened to David Carr. Yeah. And what team? The Texans. Yeah, he got told.
Yeah.
It took him down. So
it's right, buddy.
But I'd say it's troll. I think Joe Burrow, he has that swagger. Yeah, I just believe he's going 1 year. He went to make
I'm gonna join you on the troll side, but it won't be with the Bengals that he go to the playoffs.
Because Peyton Manning drew like 20 picks his rookie year too. So
okay, 25.
He'll make it. I just think he'll make the playoffs eventually. I think his college resume and who he is as a quarterback speaks high enough that he will. I think a better question may have been like who gets the playoffs first.
Oh, Burrow or Tua.
Joe or Tua.
Oh, man, that's not even a
Oh,
question.
Tua.
Yeah.
Yeah, that a lot. He might get this year.
That division.
I bet Tua will have more Super Bowl rings than Joe Burrow will have Super Bowl playoff wins. How about that? Putting it on the table.
Please,
Whoa.
the Dolphins ain't winning the
That's allowed them to play in the league.
How many games do you
My man
anticipate him
crowned
playing a
Tua a
season?
Super Bowl champion already.
Tua will have more Super Bowl rings than Joe Burrow will have playoff wins. That's the troll on the table, young fellas.
Troll.
That's a no for me.
Troll. You trolling, Scholar.
Yeah.
The Dolphins win the Super Bowl for one.
They gonna have Luke.
Dan Marino didn't win
Rick
the Super
Ross.
Bowl.
Yeah.
You talking like Tua gonna play a full season or something?
Uh-oh.
We about to get in the whole conversation.
Let's go.
Who next?
Who next?
Yeah.
Who next?
I got nothing.
I think that's it, bro.
All right. Cool. Shout out to the Facebook Live crew for
Everybody likes the shirt.
watching. Yep, everybody likes the shirt.
Hey,
Soon.
coming soon, my friends.
Sale. But until then, and also other merchandise, but it's all coming soon. Y'all, we'll check. We're gonna be more active on y'all social media platforms starting this week, and especially with YouTube.
Ooh, there we go. Right at the end.
Yep.
Right at the end.
Fighting the mosquitoes.
Man, right at the end.
Let's go and get on out of here before Tuke has the jack one.
Exactly. You know,
Well,
they got killer bees and stuff out here now.
They talking about releasing some new form of mosquitoes into the country.
All right.
We got killer hornets, bro.
The murder hornets.
You still waiting on them?
I ain't even seen the hornets. They got to leave here.
Peace.
Be black.
See you.
So for everybody that's tuned in, well, I'm a real segment. Rotel,
Free segment.
Rotel, cheese dip, meat, tomato, and we called it Rotel after the tomato. Why not call it
Specifically, it's
cheese sauce?
Velveeta cheese. Specifically.
Specifically, it has to be the block of Velveeta.
It cannot be nice and cheesy. I accidentally grabbed the nice and cheesy, like the little off-brand Velveeta. Don't ever do that again.
Y'all the king of off-brand.
Yeah.
I can't deal with this, man. Bro, real talk. Bro had a box of cereal on top of our refrigerator at our apartment for like 2 months. I'm like, Skylar, this box ain't been touched. Like, what you gonna do with it?
College time, brother. College time.
Yeah, you close.
Now, all I buy, everything that I got in my house now is name brand. Everything. Everything is name brand now.
Because you're big money now. That's why. Nike, let me get something Nike.
No, it ain't even that. It's just I'm tired of going through the struggle. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'd rather get the Frosted Flakes than the Frosted O's. The Frosted Flakes. Okay, and back to the rotation.
So when you started, do you get?
I don't have no idea.
I'm saying, like, do I gotta stay on here?
I don't know. Maybe I should just share the post.
Or leave for now.
That was my last one.
Bad shirt, yeah.
So you ain't got no flies, no gnats, no nothing around you. You good.
Hey man, God is real.
What you got around you?
Yeah, sure.
The armor of
Good energy.
Okay, that's what
Hey, we got you, man, bro.
Hey man,
Let me buy.
I'm just hoping they don't start coming out of nowhere. I hate to be recording.
Oh yeah, man, definitely.
But it feel good outside.
Okay. Man, straight. Hold on, let me see.
Are you at home?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, you are at home. Okay,
Yeah.
I was like, I feel like that's your backyard, but I want to make sure.
I'm still quarantining.
What about no more Rotel.
Right.
As our captain is getting everything together, gentlemen, serious question here.
Another one?
I've come to a time in my life, yes. I've come to a time in my life where I am actually able to choose the meat off the grill at the barbecue. So at what age did you prosperly get above just the hot dog?
As far as I know, I think it's been all my life sleep.
Oh, word. So you was getting the chicken early.
You getting the
I'm kind of with Shocky.
Oh,
Yeah, I was on the child.
That makes sense.
That's what it was.
What about you? When could you?
Man, I'm really trying to I can't recall the specific age, but I guess if I had to throw age right, I guess like 13, 14. When I got to the point, I was like, okay, yeah, these little ass hot dogs ain't doing nothing for me. Like, I need chicken, multiple pieces of chicken. And first of all, I need them fresh off the grill.
And they had barbecue too.
And my dad barbecue.
So you was getting the slums after everybody else.
And your daddy barbecue, man.
Wanda, you watching this? Ah.
I really don't remember the age, but I know it was at one point I was like, I need more than just this little ass hot dog. I need more because I'm a growing man. So sorry, I'm a grown man, exactly, bro. So I need substance. I need. Give me all my chicken. I need some.
All I know is when I go to the Catchings household, I was getting whatever. I'm getting ribs, shoulder, smoked sausage, barbecue.
You don't live there. That's the difference.
My family didn't barbecue like that.
You ain't made my parents mad. I'm pretty sure somebody made my parents mad, so I couldn't always. You're a guest. People show out. Black people, we show out for some guests.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Dude, I was a guest like every other weekend.
No,
it can't be nothing. The house ain't never been that clean. Never been. Your cousin. Now I gotta clean up.
they got cleaned up.
Yes, afterwards. And during.
I'm cleaning baseboards.
Rhonda,
I ain't never cleaned a baseboard in my life. Why I'm cleaning baseboards?
Oh boy.
Put everybody in my room.
Oh boy.
Hey, let me ask you this. Let me ask y'all this.
Baseball.
No.
You ain't never watched a baseboard ever.
I ain't never touched a baseboard.
When your grandma was coming over, you gotta watch everything.
Yeah.
Hey, let me ask y'all this. How long did y'all leftovers last? How long did y'all leftovers last?
About 2 or 3 days, I guess.
2 or 3 days.
But thing is, leftovers was breakfast. Like that's
Exactly. That's all.
New
Like,
Year's,
how long did it
Thanksgiving,
last?
it's breakfast.
a hot dog and potato salad.
Yeah, yes.
Frosted Flakes.
Wow.
I'll tell you what
out
it
here.
is. The most used leftover like plate or dish is like ham or turkey. You eat off ham or turkey for days.
You ain't lying.
That's
Ham soup. Ham and cheese sandwiches.
Oh boy, you use some ham and some turkey forever. You make a turkey.
Man, we supposed to be talking about sports. We talking about damn food.
Oh yeah, we got some stuff we gotta say tonight.
Yeah.
She started this.
I was just very curious because it did start with this Rotel because once you cross that Mason-Dixon line and come down south, Rotel is clearly in bar mitzvahs, weddings, anniversaries,
Quinceañeras.
Baby showers,
baby
just because, like niggas don't have a just because I'm gonna have a
Just because. Example A. Example A. Just because.
Okay, before we I guess get serious whenever that happens. What goes with now? Be honest. What really goes with Rotel? What is the one thing that you like? Yes, that's with my Rotel.
But I mean,
not the chips. Don't tell me the chips.
No, okay, right, okay.
Yeah, I know the chips.
Okay,
chips and wings, right? I think that's
Gotta be wings.
Yeah.
Gotta make pizza.
it's gotta
Pizza,
be-
yeah.
Pizza.
Some kind of alcohol.
Yeah,
Definitely some kind of alcohol.
alcohol in there.
So wings. I gotta get this right. I gotta write this down. Wings, alcohol.
Pizza.
That's a given.
Oh, actually, I have one last
Oh
question.
yeah, Savage Pops watching, man.
I have one question about Rotel. At what point did we decide as black people, okay, tortilla chips just ain't enough. We got to go to
Doritos.
Doritos.
Cool
You
Ranch.
had a powder on your fingers, man.
We decided to go up one level and start
Boy.
hot chips. I was like, okay,
Hey.
we doing chips.
Yeah, I ain't do hot chips. I don't do hot chips.
I remember that
I ain't doing that. I ain't that ratchet now.
Football games, bro.
You know what happened?
Concession things.
EBT happened.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
what
facts.
happened. You can tell when somebody got the fresh EBT because they got the Doritos. But it's plain, whatever
Okay.
bro got on sale.
That's enough for today.
I'm sorry.
We'll be back next week with more content.
Pre-show shenanigans.
Again, thank you to
Yeah.
the Real Podcast, the fattest podcast there is out here.
The fattest sport podcast.
Yeah, we're still waiting on sponsorship from Wendy's. Who else owes us a check? Wendy's owes us a check.
We don't want no sponsorship from Wendy's.
Huh?
Not
I
more.
was like, we won't do Wendy's. We
We don't do Wendy's no more.
We don't do
No more.
Wendy's.
We don't want no sponsorship from
We
Wendy's
still
now.
broke. We run that money. Awesome. Yeah, we'll take the money.
I ain't asking for
Look,
your bank.
let Wendy's pull up in you. You don't want a $5,000 check. You taking it or not, too?
I'm gonna take it to Chick-fil-A. Like, hey, Chick-fil-A, when he's talking about $75 million.
Hey, what?
What's up with
Negotiation.
There you go.
Negotiation.
There you go. Be like, hey, bro,
Leverage.
we got 5,000 for Wendy's. What y'all trying to do?
Right.
Make some motel.
Sorry, go ahead, man.
Now, if I go to Popeyes in like 2 months and I see they selling Rotel, I'm like, we need y'all to check for it. Okay, Captain Broussard. We got to get out the way. We've been quarantined too long. We've been quarantined a little too long.